Hi everyone, my name is Lisa Holzel and I am one of Shawn Petite's creative team members. And I am here today to show you how to play with pan pastels. So these are really cool. They're powdery kind of chalk pigments. And I'm using the abstract stencil with various thickness of papers. The first paper I chose is like a translucent, trying to remember, these are all scraps that I had, and this is a transparent, kind of thick, kind of plastic kind of paper, so it's a different feel. So what I wanted to do is by using the stencils and the pan pastels is how using the same technique on different types of paper. So the end result was actually pretty surprising and really fun to do. So I never used that green. I ended up using the yellow ochre, and the purple is a magenta extra dark, and the pink is called magenta. And everything will be on the supply list below. So what I use is those little finger daubers. That's what they're called, is a dauber. And it kind of narrows down your area. You could tape down your stencil. I just chose to hold it and form like little circles and fill in the bottom part of the stencil. And I'm going to use different colors because I kind of just wanted to have fun, play with it, and see what I can create. So that's the best part about stencils, is you're going to have so many different results by using it in so many different various ways and mediums. So I had these pan pastels. I haven't used them in a long time, so I thought this would be fun to use. So I also have my Stabilo pencil, and this color, let's see if it tells me what color it is. It doesn't say a color, but it gives you a number, 1400 over 325. It's a Stabilo, and I'll have that also on the list. So with the pan pastels and the Stabilo pencils, I I bought those in a kit, so I'll give you the exact same name that I used, and you can get them individually as well. So I just wanted to see how the pencil, because I use a Stabilo for shading, and it's also blendable with a blender or using your fingers. So I wanted to see how to do it this way with the pan pastels. So then I went with the dark magenta and went up the next section to see how, and I'm applying it, the pink and the purple, or the magenta, um, and the extra dark magenta. I applied them in the same way, kind of like in a circular formation, just to see the outcome, how it would look. And then I kind of overlapped them a little just to see what would happen. And then I went up with the extra dark magenta, and I did a stronger, like a stroke, like a big paintbrush that I'm using. So I wanted to see if the outcome would be different or not. So this was just fun, experimental, showing you just another different medium, how the different papers will look. So I went from transparent paper, and then I went a little lighter and or heavier and heavier and heavier. So there's our first little sample. I liked it. I thought it was really cool. And you will need to use a fixative spray to keep the pan pastels from smearing. So this is a very thin fiber paper. So it's also a lighter color. I don't, these were just extras that I've had laying around and I wanted to use them up, and I may use them in my journal or even on a canvas. So it's perfect for mixed media. And then again, I'm going to use the exact same technique, the exact same colors on each of my papers just to see um, what would happen. And the color is a lot brighter on a lighter piece of paper. And I didn't go through every triangle with my Stabilo pencil, and the some of the papers I had trouble with, and I don't think not this one. So again, I'm just having fun using the exact same thing of the pan pastels, and these are really fun that they have little tools that look like eyeshadow makeup tools that you can use when you're using the pan pastels. So it's more of a pastel crayon in powder form, like an eyeshadow really is actually what it feels like. And then I just been, clearing my paper off on that brown craft paper in the background. So you can see these came out a little darker versus the transparent. And I think that's really cool. I like that. So my next paper, I'm comparing the two papers, a little heavier, a little thicker, still fibrous. And this one looks, is a bit, has like a sheen to it. So don't be afraid to try something new and using different textiles or textures, even fabric. I'd be curious. I didn't have any at hand, or I probably would have tried that. So that would be fun too. So this was just being creative in such a way without a plan. So this paper being a shiny shimmer, I had trouble with the Stabilo. So not every piece of paper with a different textures will react the same way. So I did have trouble with the Stabilo on this one. And then again, I'm using the same technique. And what I did like with this one, as you can see, where I used the Stabilo, the pigment actually darkened it over the Stabilo. It didn't do that with the other two pieces of paper. So I thought that was neat to create an unexpected shadow. So that was a fun little surprise. Isn't that neat? Let's see if I get up close for you. So I thought that was neat. Everywhere I did red, it did make it darker, like a shadow. So that was awesome. But that didn't happen with the other two papers. See, I even brought them back. You can see the red. So I thought that was a neat surprise. Pretty fun, huh? And then I believe, yep, one more. And this is a heavier textured paper. And it's a little peachy, so it's a little heavier. It didn't have that sheen like the last paper. So I'm sorry I can't give you links to the paper because I have no idea. I think these were given to me from a friend. And anytime there's any clearance paper that I can grab, I do pick those up because I just never know how I'm going to use it. And I like to experiment with scraps. So really just go through your scraps and see what you can create. And you can tell right away how the colors are being even more brighter and vibrant on this piece of paper. So I really like that a lot. Hope you can hear my wind chimes. It's pretty windy today. It's a beautiful day. Sunny after a good rain. So I love my wind chimes. So I love how that came out. And it did cover up the red pencil marks. So I always like texture. I like playing with texture and lightness and darkness. So all this dust powder, I actually was thinking of throwing it away And as I stared at it, I'm like, well, let's see what we can create. So this is what I decided to do. I'm always getting my fingers dirty and making a mess. So I decided to smear that powder on the craft paper. And it's like a brown paper bag, but a lighter weight. So I'm just smearing that all the way across, see what would happen, and kind of blending it, using up every bit of dust I can find. Don't mind my fingers. So I'm going to play again, have fun with it, bring out the stencil, and there's my yellow ochre I brought out. I never used the green. I didn't feel like the green was a good color contrast with the magentas that I've been using. So this was a really neat surprise. I loved how this came out. So I got a new dauber for the yellow ochre. And so I'm just kind of placing my stencil and trying to figure out where I'm going to start. So I decided to go up to the top where the bars are. And I wanted that, as I was blending the colors, I decided to go back and do real heavy pressure at the bars, and then where you see the little half scallops, I went lighter on the pressure because I wanted a kind of like a lighter blend into the magenta that I smeared in the center. And again, I really didn't know what the end result was gonna be. It was just like, let's see what we have. Let's play. Let's explore. And I had way too much fun. I will be using this stencil and this technique for future projects because this was a neat surprise. So if you have a specialized way of doing things, incorporate the stencil, incorporate the spare parts that are surrounding you, I guess. That's kind of how I pick my papers. I had a scrap all rolled up and kind of just went with it. So really love how the yellow ochre popped on the top. So I went again with the magenta extra dark. And these are called Artist Pastels. Pan Pastel Artist Pastels. So you can look that up. So I just had fun. Again, I'm going to go kind of darker at the circles at the bottom of the stencil with a heavier pressure, and then I went lighter as I went up. And then here we go, the reveal. Doesn't that look like a window or a stained glass? I mean, it just really was. I heard music, voices singing in the background. I just loved how that turned out. Beautiful. So thank you, Shawn. That was so neat. Love it. So I think I'm going to be doing this more often. And what I didn't do, I didn't try it plain on the paper. So I went and smeared my background because I just loved how the last one turned out, and this was on that lighter paper. And I will experiment with the same papers without the background and just using the stencil, which I didn't do, but be curious to see how that worked out, or you could share with us what you came up with. So this was really fun to create, and I'm going to do the exact same technique. So I'm going to use the yellow ochre on the top, the magenta extra dark on the bottom, and just really reminded me of a stained glass window is all I can think of, or a window that's just beautiful with the light shining through. So it was just a fun little surprise. So I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Learning something new right along with me, because I'm a daredevil. I like to just try something brand new with all of you guys watching me and listening with me. So I hope you enjoyed my journey and that you jump on your own journey and just kind of look around you. And I did use the regular magenta to see what would happen, and I just love the outcome. It was just so pretty. I definitely will be doing this again. So thank you for following Shawn Petite, her creative team, and using her stencils right along with us. So definitely share your results because I would love to see it. And again, my name is Lisa Holzel. I am with One Drop to Wellness. You can find me on Instagram. And thanks for joining us. And check this out. I love the subtlety of the light magenta against the dark. And that yellow ochre just really puts a smile on my face. Look at that. Thank you so much.